Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 1 of Dan and Danny Talk Sports. I'm Dan Studer along with my co-host Danny Gulix. Danny, how are you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm tired. I'm sure I look tired, but I'm good. Um, Playoffs, baby.
It is currently at the time that we're recording this, it is Monday, January 10th, around 7 o'clock. We're about an hour away from kickoff at the national championship. Danny, who you got, Bama or Georgia?
I have not watched a lot of college football this year. I'm gonna go Bama.
Say Bama. Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm gonna go Bama.
yeah, Bama.
It's,
Obviously, Bama.
it's a reputation thing, man.
I will
They're always there.
never, I will never, ever root for a team whose fan base barks at people.
Yeah, it's kind of odd. I'll always root for Bama because Najee, of course. Najee had a great quote this week. They asked him if he feels like run down from the season or anything, and he was like, "No, I played for Bama. We had longer seasons in college because we were always making the championship."
I saw the stat saying that like for the last couple of seasons, Bama wins like the average is like 12 and a half games,
Mhm.
yet the most amount of games that a college team is guaranteed is 12.
Yeah,
And they win average
insane.
12 and a half.
It's insane.
Well, Danny, with 2 seconds left in overtime, I'm sure you were on the edge of your seat last night. Daniel Carlson keeps his streak alive. Daniel Carlson hasn't missed in Vegas's new stadium, and he sends
It's a great
the
stat.
Raiders and the Steelers to the playoffs, sending the Los Angeles Chargers home. I'm not gonna lie, I would rather have seen the Chargers go than the Raiders, especially just because of how good of
Yeah,
a sophomore year Herbert had.
yeah. I just want to throw it out there. The Chargers and the Ravens both being gutsy, you want to call it, and always going for the win instead of going for the easy points, or always going for that big play instead of the easy points, both cost them their season.
Why did the Chargers call timeout last night?
Oh, apparently because they had the wrong personnel on the field. The coach was asked about it, and he said that they were in a run defense on a 3rd and 4, and he called the timeout to switch to a pass. Doesn't make sense. And then after the game, Derek Carr said that they were just gonna kneel it out. So the both teams would have made the playoffs. Funny thing is, I literally only watched that last kick. That's the only play of the game I watched. I was laying in bed trying to
I
go to
got the
sleep.
notification that they went into overtime, and that's when I tuned in.
I was laying in bed trying to go to sleep. My phone blowing up. Like I was like, oh, I don't know what's going on. Whatever. And then I check it and I see like 3, 4 like my friend Matt called me, Dan texted me, my friend Jack texted me. I was like, what is going on? And so I go out into my living room and I'm talking to my dad, and he was like, you see this bullshit. And I look at the score and I see that it's tied in overtime with like 5 seconds left. And I was like, oh Lord, this is not good. And then Carlson made it, and I was really happy. But
I saw, you could see Derek Carr with the referee standing like right at the line of scrimmage because he's watching the game clock go down.
mhm,
Imagine he just didn't call the timeout, and
would
then
have been
that's how the
tie.
game ended.
Austin Eckler asked him after the game. You could see them talking on the field,
Yeah,
and Austin Eckler said, "Were you just gonna kneel it out?" And Derek Carr goes,
there's also a clip of Justin Herbert. Obviously no audio, but you could see him saying like
"I've
mouthing
never
like
prayed for as high."
I've never wanted a tie so bad before.
Yeah, that's Jesus. It was a rough one. It was a rough one, but hey, we make the playoffs just to play the Chiefs, so it's
Yeah.
it's a blessing and a curse. Another thing I want to talk about, TJ Watt getting screwed by the NFL.
Oh boy. Please. Let's just how did TJ Watt get screwed by the NFL?
They only counted him for one sack yesterday, so he tied the sack record. He had a strip sack early in the game. I'm calling it a strip sack. He broke the record. He had 23 and a half sacks. They called it a fumbled snap, and it was a tackle for a loss. It wasn't. It wasn't. It was a bad snap. It's still a strip sack.
I see people like on social media saying to like put an asterisk next to the fact, and like more than just Giant fans too, I will say. And I personally, I don't even have an issue with it, but I see people on social media saying to put an asterisk next to Watt tying the record specifically
Why?
for the fact that he had one extra game to do it.
He played 15 games.
I know.
TJ missed 3 game or TJ missed 2 full games this year and played less than 50% of snaps in 3 other games. So he played
Right.
less than 14 total games this year.
People are just focusing on the fact though that it's a 17 game season versus a 16. It reminds you, I know I know that you don't know much about baseball history, and this is specifically with the New York Yankees. It reminds me of 1961. It's the home run race between Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle, trying to see who can beat Babe Ruth's home run record. Now, when Ruth hit the record, or set the record, they played 154, I think, game seasons, and then they added 8 more games to make it 162, if my math is right. And Frick, was he the commissioner at the time? They basically said that any record that was set after that 154 game mark would have an asterisk next to it. It wasn't until years later, I forget who the commissioner was that did it, but they basically took that away, and then Roger Maris held the home run record for however long as he did until McGuire took it over.
I mean, in my opinion, a record's a record. Like, yeah, they had a full extra game. Like, if Cooper Kupp broke the receiving record, which he didn't, yeah, there would have been an asterisk. Everybody would have thought, but still, Stafford threw
pretty
for
cool, though.
Stafford threw for the 2 best receiving seasons of all time, which is insane.
It's pretty cool though to see Cooper Kupp with the NFL Triple Crown.
Yeah, fourth receiver ever. But you know what's funny? He was 18 yards away from the record. He had 1 rush for 18 yards. I just thought it was funny.
That is funny.
Cooper Kupp won me $67 yesterday, so I was pretty happy.
Congratulations.
Yeah, him and Debo going back to back is just it was amazing to have. Anything else you want to touch up on before we get into the real fat of this episode?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good.
Yeah.
All right. So, what we want to do is we want to look at all the wild card games, see who plays who, match it up, who we think's gonna win. We got some stats for you guys. We're professional out here. It's crazy. Dan, what game you want to start with?
Well, Danny, since it was set first, let's take a look at the NFC first. Obviously, Green Bay is your number 1 seed, finishing at 13-4, so they get home field advantage throughout the playoffs, and obviously that first round bye.
Yes, sir.
The first game that we'll talk. We'll just go lowest to highest. So first game we'll talk about the 9-8 number 7 seed Philadelphia Eagles going up against the 13-4 number 2 seed Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Hey, I like this game, but I mean we were talking on the phone. I told you you got the stats for this game. In my opinion, it's a clear-cut thing. There's one scenario where I see the Eagles winning, and that's if Mike Evans gets knocked out of the game early, because he's been battling injuries all season. They're already without Chris Godwin for the year. They lost Antonio Brown, which, I mean, that's a can of worms, but he's a good player on the field that you want. Gronk's been battling injuries. Leonard Fournette might not be able to play. It's a battered offense.
I feel like Gronk really hasn't had too many of like those injuries besides when he had the rib injury. Yeah. I feel like he recovered nicely from that though.
Yeah, but you can tell on the field watching the games that he's just it's not the same that he was early in the year. And early in the year it felt like he just had like a little bit more like speed to him, I guess. I don't know. Like a little bit more break on his routes. It just could be with the rib injury. It might still be affecting him.
It might not even be a physical thing, Danny. It might be more of a mentally thing. That's why going into this season, I had no idea how Dak was going to do. And the reason why was because, being able to trust like that ankle again, that, nothing is going to like pop out of place or nothing is going to break,
Yeah.
that's a lot of mental aspect that goes in there.
Yeah. And Devin Bush for the Steelers was talking about that early in the year because he tore his ACL last year, and he basically put it like, you get bit by a dog. The next time you walk by a dog, you're gonna get scared.
Right.
So it's I'm sure it's the same way. Any big injury, you get back on that field and you're worried about it. You want to tend to it a little bit, but it'll take
Right.
away from your play if you're tending to an injury.
Right. That's like Stanton, Giancarlo Stanton, when he, came back after getting drilled by was it Mike Fires? In the face, where he, like, I forget what injuries he sustained, but then, he came back and he had like that shield that attached to his helmet that covered, like, around the cheek to the mouth area, and it pretty much paved the way for a lot more MLB players to be wearing it, because they don't want to take that risk. They don't want to have a ball hit them in the face for them to realize that they should be wearing it. Well, let's talk last five really quickly, Danny. I also have these for all 12 teams that we're going to be talking about. So in the last five, we'll go with the visiting Philadelphia Eagles first. 4-1 in the last five, with wins over the Jets, the Giants, and 2 against Washington, and that lone loss being to Dallas. The Buccaneers also with a 4-1 record in the last 5, wins against Buffalo, the Jets, 2 against the Panthers, and that one loss, of course, coming against the Saints in Week 15 when Brady was shut out for the 3rd time in his career.
Yeah.
The Buccaneers and the Eagles did see each other one time before this season. Back in October, Week 6, Tampa Bay won that matchup 28-22. And Danny, kind of like what you were saying, it's almost like a totally different ball game. In this game, Tampa Bay is going to be going without Antonio Brown. He led the Buccaneers that game with 93 receiving yards, and they don't have Chris Godwin either, who currently still leads the Bucs receiving yards with a little over 1,100, despite not having played since Week 15 against the Saints. Another thing to keep in mind, this is also going in with what I was saying too. This game, despite winning, the Bucs didn't have Gronk. He was dealing with a rib injury, like we were just talking about. But we'll have to see how he's able to. Because, like you're saying, it definitely feels like there's just a different energy kind of coming from him when you watch him.
Oh yeah, I mean, dude, it's Gronk. Like you just watch a commercial and you know this guy's insane. Like, not just like as a football player, just as a person. Like, he's just crazy. Every team would want him on their team just to bring that kind of energy.
Right. Also, because I think this guy's been dealing with injuries too. Leonard Fournette, is he going to be back in time for this wild card game? He in this previous matchup, he led with 81 rushing yards, and he was 3rd in receiving with 46. Also, not to mention that Jason Pierre-Paul and Richard Sherman are currently back on the IR. I'm sorry, not back on the IR. They're currently on the IR. It would be helpful to have them both be back in this game. I don't think. I don't know. None of them were out for the season, if I recall correctly.
Not that I would know of.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. I just don't think it's that tough, even with the injuries that the Bucs have sustained throughout the year, all the stuff that they had to go through with AB and Bruce Arians. I just still think it's the Bucs, man. That's Tom Brady. Tom Brady's not getting first rounded. It's just not gonna happen.
No.
It's just not gonna
Even though
happen.
he almost did. He almost did last year.
Yeah.
Well, wait. You can't say Tom Brady doesn't get first rounded, because he did in his last game as a Patriot.
I didn't say he doesn't. I just said he won't.
Oh, okay.
I remember that game.
I apologize.
I remember that game. That was amazing.
We were watching it together.
Mm-mm.
Yes, we were.
I wasn't there.
Oh, you're right. We weren't.
I wasn't there.
Yep.
I was somewhere else.
Yeah, you were.
That wasn't the plan. All right, let's move on. All right.
Any points that you want to make about the Buccaneers before I have a couple to make about the Eagles?
I do. I haven't talked about the Eagles at all. I don't want to disrespect them. Jalen Hurts has had a sneaky good year. I want to say, like he showed more than I thought he would, which is very good, especially for the Eagles organization that they have at least one more year with a quarterback that they can look at and be like, okay, we saw improvement. Let's see what we do next year. Devontae Smith pleasantly surprised me this year. I knew he was good. Knew he was, of course,
Heisman winner.
won the Heisman last year. But I mean, he was still the third best receiver in his class, like I said, coming into the draft. But he was very good. He was surprisingly very good for me this season, in my opinion. And the defense, who is it? Darius Slay is on the Eagles defense.
Yes.
He's had a very good year. He's had a very good year on defense, and it's honestly great to see him come back to form. Because if I recall, he didn't have a great year last year.
He was doing pretty well through like the first probably 4 to 6 games, and then
last year
went on a little
Yeah, but he's
and
just
then
been,
he kind of fell off a little bit.
He's just been
streaky.
good this year,
right?
Yeah, I mean, hey, props to the Eagles, but you're not beating Tom Brady.
Well, yeah. Well, one of the questions that Philadelphia needs to ask is, will they have Miles Sanders back in time for the game? If so, they need to utilize him. If the Eagles, yeah, exactly, Penn State guy. And what I'm gonna say definitely isn't biased, I promise. If so, they need to utilize him if the Eagles want any shot at winning this game. I feel like Philadelphia wasn't properly using Sanders up until Hurts's injury.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the first game that Hurts didn't play was week 13. I forget who they played. The Dolphins, ring a bell.
Not sure.
Anyways, up until Hurts' injury, he never had 100 rushing yards in a game. I'm sorry, week 13 was against the Jets. Prior to that, the highest amount that he ever had was 94 in week 11 against the Saints. So from weeks 1 to 12, Sanders had 458 rushing yards. Week 13 up to today, he had 296. So in 3 games, Sanders was able to put up 64% of the rushing yards that he accumulated in those 9 games.
Hey, listen, Miles Sanders is very good, but getting the running game going against this Buccaneers defense, who is 3rd in the league in run defense, they only average giving up 92.5 yards per game on the ground.
Well, then they need to run it with an actual running back.
Need to run it with a purpose.
That's what?
We need to run it with the purpose and run it to the outside.
Well, that's exactly the point that I'm making, is that weeks 1 through 12, whenever the Eagles had an intention on running the ball, usually Hurts would just, drop back and then he'd scramble and rush for, however many yards he was averaging. I should have gotten that, but I didn't. But you can't tell me it's a coincidence that until Hurts gets injured, Sanders doesn't put up 100, but then his first 2 games without him, back-to-back 100-yard plus games.
No, yeah. I mean, also Gardner Minshew was solid in those games.
Right. Well, that's exactly the difference, though, between obviously it's a huge difference between Minshew and Hurts, is that Hurts is more mobile, but I don't care if you're a mobile quarterback. If your running back has the ability to get more rushing yards than you, which is literally his purpose, then hand the ball off to him more.
Yeah. It's going to be a rough game.
I got one last point to make. From comparing this upcoming game to that week 6 game, new tight end in town. No more Zach Ertz. It's Dallas Goedert, who didn't play in this game back in October due to COVID protocol. He does average 61.4 yards per game, and that does include the game in which he, for some reason, only had 1 reception against the Giants on 3 targets. If you were to take that game out, it's 68 yards per game. So he's going to be a solid target for the Eagles for Hurts to look out for.
I like Dallas Goedert. I think he's very solid. He's a very, very solid tight end. Who you got winning?
Give me Tampa.
I don't think it's going to be close.
It would take a lot for Philadelphia to beat them. Definitely not impossible, though. We saw
We
We
saw
saw
Tennessee do
Heineke
it,
do what he did against the Buccaneers last
but
year.
we saw Tennessee do it 2 years ago. Beat Tom Brady in the first round. Very similar teams.
I feel like Tennessee though was a little bit more of an established team
Yeah,
than last year's football team though.
not at the time. I mean, at the time they weren't really on a playoff
Oh yeah,
streak. That was I think that was
was
their
that Tannehill's first year in Tennessee?
first or second. I'm not sure, but that was the Brett Kern game, bro. It was like a 90-yard boot and pinned him on the 1 yard line,
Right.
like a line drive punt. It was crazy.
Wasn't it like his last pass attempt ever as a Patriot was a pick six?
Pick six by, oh, don't tell me. Oh, he was a
I
Patriot.
couldn't
He
I
was a
couldn't even
page.
if I wanted to.
Oh my God, he was a Patriot. Was it? No, it wasn't Hightower. It was I'm not gonna waste time here, but it was a Patriot. It was Tom Brady's ex teammate picked him off and returned to the end zone to ice the game. That's gonna make me so upset that I just didn't know it. All right, let's move on to the next game. Right,
Right.
we both got the Bucks winning. It's Tom Brady. You can't bet against him. He's the GOAT. And Arians
Next
is a great
game.
coach.
Absolutely. Next game, the number 6 seed San Francisco 49ers, who finished 10-7, going up against the number 3 seeded Dallas Cowboys, who finished 12-5. San Francisco in their last 5 are 4-1 with wins against Cincinnati, Atlanta, Houston, and the Rams, with that lone loss being to the Tennessee Titans. Dallas, on the other hand, also 4-1 with 2 wins against Washington. It's literally just the NFC East. 2 wins against Washington, 1 against the Giants, 1 against Philadelphia. The lone loss being to Arizona Cardinals.
Lost to a playoff team.
Funny you mentioned that, Danny. I'll let you say whatever you
Nah,
want
go ahead.
about. No, 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 no,
I know
no.
you. I know you got something to say. I know you got something to say. I want you to bring it up.
Okay, I absolutely. There's nothing that brings me more pleasure on God's green earth than giving shit to the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm gonna do it right here, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm excited.
Dallas played 7 games against 6 playoff teams, 2 against Philly, and then Tampa, New England, Kansas City, Las Vegas, Arizona.
7.
In those 7 games, they went 3-4.
That's not good.
Obviously, both of those 2 of those wins were against the Eagles. Danny, of those other teams, do you know who the other win was?
Can you say the teams again?
Tampa, New England, Kansas City, Vegas, Arizona.
Tampa, New England, Kansas City, Vegas, Arizona. Ooh, it was Vegas.
It was New England.
I was gonna say New England.
And nothing against Mac Jones and Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots, but they might be the more underwhelming team of those 5 that I just said.
Fair enough. I don't think that's a hot take.
Not to mention, by the way, the loss to the Chargers, who missed the playoffs by the skin of their teeth. They'd be 3-5.
Yeah.
I got 3-4. They'd be 3-5. Oh, okay. So, I thought I had another little trivia question for you. I guess I don't.
I have a trivia question for you.
I lay it on me.
When was the last time that Dallas has made it past the divisional round in the playoffs? It's kind of surprising given the amount of success that they've had, or success, so to speak.
I don't think it was 2016.
Okay. Which was
I know
their
that
last playoff
that
berth,
was
correct?
that was their Super Bowl 50. That was Dak and Zeke.
Dak and Zeke's rookie year, yeah.
Right.
Co-rookie of the year. Some dumb. This should have been Dak.
They did play the Giants in 2007. I think that might have been divisional.
Hey, man.
I want to say I got 2 guesses in mind. I want to say, was it 2000? I don't remember if the Giants played Dallas on their second go around to the Super Bowl.
Hey, throw
Is
it
it
at me.
2008?
No.
Is it the last? I don't remember the year off the top of my head, but is the last time that Dallas made it past the first round the last time that they won the Super Bowl?
No, they made it past the first round in 2016.
They did?
Yeah. They lost in the divisional in 2016.
Who did they beat first round?
Let me Google it real quick. It'll take me 2 seconds to find this. But do you want to hear the last time they made it past the divisional round?
I'd love to.
1995. That is horrible. That is absolutely horrible. That they have almost you can't really compare it. So I was gonna bring up how the Bengals haven't won a playoff game since 1991. But it's not really the same.
Because at least Dallas has.
Yeah, they have, just not two.
Yeah, just one.
I don't know why it's not showing up. Team history. Oh, there it is. I'm an idiot. Yeah, they beat in 2018 actually. The Cowboys beat the Seahawks in the wild card and lost to the Rams in the divisional. That's the year that the Rams made the playoffs or made the Super Bowl. 2018 was Rams Patriots, and it's horrible.
What year was Patriots Eagles? 17? I thought that was 2018.
17, I think. Nah, because 19 was. Wait. Nah. 20...
Oh no, maybe it was 17.
21 was Chiefs. 21 was Chiefs Bucks.
Wait, here, hold on. 50 was Broncos Seahawks.
I don't know Super Bowl numbers. I know yours.
That was 2015. No, it's 2016. 2016.
It's easier for me to go backwards.
Yeah.
21 was Chiefs Bucks, Chiefs Niners. The year before Chiefs Niners was 2019. Was that
New England Rams? No.
No.
Mm-mm.
That was what Super Bowl was in 2019?
No, we're not asking serious.
It was New England Rams. And then the year 2018, you were right.
I was right. I was just second guessing myself.
Yeah, and I was incorrect.
Lo and behold, Dan's right, Danny's wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into this episode.
That's gonna be a theme among this podcast.
What points do you want to make about any of the teams, or do you not have any?
I actually have a lot.
Okay.
Let me lay some stats on you guys.
Are you doing like players, or are you talking about the team and the history? Because I have team history.
I'm gonna do some team stats.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can take over the history stuff. I feel like that's fair.
Fair enough.
All right. Dallas averages the most points per game in the league with 31.2.
Interesting.
And I'm pretty sure they average the most yards per game, but I'm not positive. Actually, I could check that like super fast. I already have the tab pulled up on my phone.
I find that super interesting because, not gonna lie.
Yep, they average the most yards per game too. They have the best offense in the league.
I don't think they have the statistically they have the best offense in the league, but I don't think that they have a Super Bowl caliber offense.
How do I? However, the Niners give up the 10th least points per game, 21.5, and the 3rd least yards per game, 310. So the Niners have had a top 5 defense this year, in my opinion. Top 10 scoring, top 3 yards per game. It's sure you combine it, and I feel like Dallas, since Amari Cooper has said against a team that they're not as explosive as they should be, and their offense is not as good as it should be, Dallas has had the best offense in the league for the past 3-4 weeks. I mean, dude, they just crushed the Eagles. The Eagles played. Yeah, I can't name one starter on their defense this week, but they still got 51 dropped on them.
Right. I know that they had a lot of like COVID protocol people and whatnot.
So I really think it's going to be a great game. This might be the second best game in the wild card round. Another thing, last time that the Niners made the playoffs, they were a sneaky underdog team and went to the Super Bowl. It's crazy because they had the first overall pick the year before, went to the Super Bowl, missed the playoffs. Another, they have a similar team this year. If not, it's actually better this year because their offense is a lot more powered. Defense probably is a little worse because they don't have Sherman and who's the other guy on the defense? That was whatever. I'm not gonna dwell on it because we've spent a lot of time just like, oh, what's this? What's that?
Right. Counting back the Super Bowls.
Yeah, exactly. But I think we're really in for an insane game. I think a little bit of a prediction. Michael Parsons is gonna have a big game, like a big game.
Love that prediction. Funny you say that. I love that prediction.
Hey, yeah. Let me turn the floor over to you.
So I've got a little bit of playoff history between these two teams. Dallas and San Francisco have met in the playoffs 7 times.
Wow.
It is currently 5-2 in favor of Dallas.
Not surprising.
Of those 7 matchups.
Dallas has had a way better history as a team.
Absolutely. Dallas's Super Bowl record after beating San Francisco in the playoffs, 3-1.
Wow.
So there's only once, I forget when it was, only once though did Dallas and San Francisco meet in the playoffs and Dallas not go on to win the Super Bowl.
San Fran. Probably.
Oh, wait. Did I have that written down in no, I think I talk about it. And
I hate Dallas, bro. As a Steelers fan, I just really don't like him. I love Michael Parsons, and it's so hard to root for him.
I guess I have it somewhere else.
Like I know I tweeted it out like a while ago. I hate Dallas, and I love Michael Parsons, man. Like if he was on any other team, he'd be one of my favorite players in the league. But he's on the Cowboys, dude. It's so hard to like the Cowboys. All right.
So San Francisco's record about beating Dallas.
Yep.
And then their record in the Super Bowl.
Oh no, Dallas
2-0.
beating. Oh.
No, this is San Francisco at one point beating Dallas in the playoffs whenever, and then
every time
playing in the Super.
Every time that San Francisco's beat Dallas in the playoffs, they won the Super Bowl.
Correct.
That's crazy.
2 out of 2.
That's crazy.
So Dallas.
Great stat. That's a great stat.
Thank you. Dallas or San Francisco, Danny? Who you got?
I got Cowboys. Cowboys are a sneaky team this year, and I love the Niners. I love the Niners. I love Debo. Ayuk disappointed me in fantasy, but I still love Ayuk. Kittle's amazing. He's hilarious, but
Kittle is a beast.
But I mean, I think the Cowboys' offense and defense just too good. Do we disagree?
I don't know. I don't.
Are you still?
If there's one
back
thing,
and forth?
Yeah. If there's one thing that makes me want to pick Dallas over San Fran, it's that I would rather take Dak than Jimmy G.
You want to hear Jimmy G's stats this year?
Lay him on me.
20 touchdowns, 12 picks. Very bad. That's it. That's all you need to know.
In how many games do you know? Because I know that didn't he miss like a game or two? So is that probably around 15, 16 games?
He's missed a couple games. I actually might have his stats pulled up. Yeah, I do actually have his stats pulled up already. I haven't closed them yet.
I'm going to guess 16 games.
Let's see. Games played. 15. So he missed 2 games.
That's what I said, 15. Huh?
That's 2 games. But
right. I'm going off 18 weeks.
This is his second best season at quarterback. In 2019, he started 16 games. He only missed 1. That was all the games. He played all the games. He threw for about 200 more yards, 7 more touchdowns, and 1 more pick. So this is his second best season. I mean, it's his second healthy season as a starting quarterback. I just don't think Jimmy's good, dude. I really don't. I've been very vocal about the fact that I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is a good quarterback, and I don't think the Niners need a good quarterback in their system. I really don't.
Right.
I think any starting quarterback in the league could still lead them to wins.
this game also comes down to whose defense caves first. I feel like.
I think it's gonna be the Niners. I think honestly, I think the Cowboys are going to get a defensive touchdown, and that's gonna be it. Like that's gonna be the game. Right then and there, it's gonna seal the deal for the Cowboys, and they're just gonna run away with it. I think it's gonna be a close game. I really do, but I think either Michael Parsons is gonna get a scoop and score, Trevon Diggs will get a big pick and either give them good like field position, or I don't know, Diggs will give up 300 yards. I don't know.
Like something else also that like I have that like I'm looking at and I keep constantly debating over it is like, because I think that it plays a role in who to pick. I look at that last five. Dallas played in the last 5 weeks, played one playoff team, one real team. I'm sorry, they played two playoff teams.
And they lost to one. And
they lost to Arizona and San Francisco. On the other hand, while they lost to Tennessee, they also beat Cincinnati and the Rams.
Yeah, and the Rams are the real deal, dude.
Right? Like
it's crazy. I don't know who you got.
It is Dallas in their home stadium too.
Yep.
I think I'm gonna go with the Dallas Cowboys.
Who gets more rushing attempts, Pollard or Zeke?
Zeke played in week 18, so I think I'll say Zeke.
Damn, I was trying to get you to say something crazy. I wanted you to say Pollard, bro.
Why?
Nah, I love Tony Pollard. I want Tony Pollard to have a good playoff game. He's so good, bro. I traded for him in Madden one time, and then he had 93 speed, and I just went crazy with him.
Damn, that is crazy. Well, our final game, Danny, in the NFC.
The best game of the week.
It is for sure the best game of the week. The number 5 seed Arizona Cardinals finishing at 11-6, taking on the number 4 seed Los Angeles Rams, who finished 12-5. So it's the closest matchup in the NFC. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, in terms of record.
Yep. And you want to know what's crazy? They split their games this season. 1-1.
They did. Arizona took the win in week 4, while Los Angeles took it in week 14.
And the differential was the total points scored
really quickly
was very close, 60-50. Cardinals outscored Rams 60-50. So I mean, 10 points, but like it's still really close. It's gonna be a barn burner.
It was not. Oh wait, hold on. I'm sorry.
60-50.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. 60-50. I'm sorry. Really quickly, just because I like to start off each of them with this last 5. Arizona Cardinals, very unimpressive at 1-4. That lone win being against the Dallas Cowboys, while losing to the Rams because week 14 falls within the last 5. The Indianapolis Colts, Seattle Seahawks, and most embarrassing, the Detroit Lions.
Hey, not embarrassing. They're the best 3-13-1 team of all time. All right.
While the Rams, on the other hand, finished 4-1 in their final 5 with wins over Arizona, Seattle, Minnesota, Baltimore, and that lone loss being to the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah. I just want to mention how insanely similar these teams are on the offensive side of the ball. Cardinals are 8th in yards per game with 373.6, and Cardinals are 8th. The Rams are 9th, 372.1. The Rams are 8th in points per game, 27.1. The Cardinals are 11th with 26.4. It's insane of how similar these offenses are. I mean, even if on paper you got the one option, Cooper Kupp and DeAndre Hopkins, who are always going to get theirs. There's nothing you can do to stop that. You got, I don't know who you'd consider the 2 option on the Rams. You want to go Van Jefferson, you want to go OBJ, but you got Christian Kirk on the other side. And then you got rookie Rondale Moore. I mean, you can compare him to Van Jefferson.
He had a really good year.
He did. He had a sneaky good year because I haven't heard his name much. And then you got tight end Zach Ertz, tight end Tyler Higbee, like both very solid tight ends, like 2 good O-lines. Running back by committee systems, probably in the playoffs if Cam Akers plays. I don't know if they're going to throw Cam Akers in there if he's not 1,000%. Because, I mean, that guy is a superhuman coming back from a torn Achilles in 6 months.
Right.
Do we know Henderson's status? Is he playing?
I can look that up really quickly, but I'm pretty sure he is. I don't remember coming across his name when I was looking at the reserves. But actually, Darrell Henderson leads me into
something I just wanted to mention real quick. The Rams have the 6th best run defense in the league, giving up 103.2 yards per game. And the Cardinals have the 10th best rushing attack in the league, getting 122.1 yards a game. In my opinion, if the Rams can lock down the run, if they can stop James Conner running the ball, if they can stop the Kyler rollout, which is a lot easier said than done. I mean, Kyler's like what, 5'8"? How tall's Kyler?
I think he's 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah, you can't see him on the field. It's like he just kind of gets around.
Right.
I mean, but it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough game for the Rams, especially on the defensive end.
The point that I wanted to make actually about Darrell Henderson is that when the Rams won in week 14, they managed to do that without him.
Yeah.
So who's to say that they can't do that again? That's also true. When Los Angeles lost by 17 in week 4, they didn't have Odell Beckham Jr. in that first matchup, and he's obviously another threat in favor of the Rams.
But they did have Robert Woods.
That's true. And in that one score game in week 14, the Cardinals didn't have Chase Edmonds
True.
For that second matchup. But
in my opinion, the game that Connor went crazy? Is that the game that Connor had like 3 touchdowns?
I believe. And just as I was about to say, that shouldn't have been that big of a difference maker, considering that they also had James Conner and Rondale Moore to hand the ball off to.
Yeah.
Also, in Arizona's defense, both D-Hop and James Conner were dealing with injuries during that second game where they were limping off the field afterwards.
Yep.
And we've talked a little bit about them, but we said this. We said the same thing for Darrell Henderson for the Rams. Will Arizona have Rondale Moore? We have to see with his injury issues.
Yeah, your mic's a little loud. So I don't know why it got so louder, but it did. I
apologize if I'm really loud in anybody's ear. I don't know. Maybe I might have just started speaking up a little bit more.
Possibly. I don't believe did Kyler play against Von Miller in that second game? Was Von Miller active in week 14 I believe he was.
I think he was.
I want to know how Kyler is going to fare against Donald and Von Miller coming at him 95% of the snaps. Because, I mean, the Cardinals' O-line is solid. Their O-line has been decent this year, but it's not great.
It's pretty good.
It's not one of the top tier O-lines, I would say.
It's no Indianapolis.
It's no Indy. It's no Tampa. But I don't know. I want to see how Kyler fares. But if there's any quarterback not named Mahomes or Lamar that can make a play on their feet, it's Kyler. So, not really worried about that. I think it's just going to be a really fun game to watch. I love watching the Rams offense. It's amazing. Matt Stafford's been one of the best quarterbacks in the league this year, and it's crazy that we haven't talked about him until this point.
Well, it's like I forget who it was from the Rams. Forgive me, but it's like they said Matthew Stafford's always been this good. He's just been on the Detroit Lions.
Yeah. Somebody on defense, I think.
I think so too. Yeah.
But I love Stafford. I knew it was going to be a big pickup for them, big trade acquisition, but I didn't know it was going to be this big.
Well, Danny, you're going to like where this stat winds up going. The Rams and the Cardinals have met one time in the playoffs before. It was in 1975.
Okay.
Rams took the win. However, the Rams did lose their next game to Dallas, who lost in Super Bowl 10 to
Steelers. It's backwards, but don't worry about that.
Also, this is the Cardinals' first playoff game since 2015, so that's pretty
Really?
cool. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm pretty sure they lost to the Panthers. I think
I
they lost to Superman.
I don't know.
Super
That's
Cam.
that was the year before Cam's MVP year. Cam was the 20. No, he was the
That
2015 MVP.
was
Yeah, because
Cam
2016 was
won.
Matt Ryan.
Cam won MVP the year that he lost the Super Bowl in Super Bowl 50 to Peyton.
Yes, sir. He didn't lose to Peyton. He lost to Von Miller. Let's
Don't disrespect. Don't disrespect Peyton Manning like that.
we can get into it right here, right now. Peyton Manning was not a
We're not going to.
Peyton Manning was not a good quarterback that year. He was
Danny,
the worst quarterback to play in a Super Bowl all time.
Danny. Shut your mouth. Cardinals at Rams. Who do you have winning?
Rams.
Give me the Rams. I like the momentum that they have coming into this. The fact that Arizona is 1-4 in their last 5 really plays an important role in my decision making. For a lot of people out there, the last 5 might not matter, but to me, it does.
I think the biggest thing to me is DeAndre Hopkins' health. He has not been healthy all year, and he hasn't all year. He hasn't been healthy since about like the 3rd, 4th week of the season.
I was about to say he had a pretty good like first 2 weeks.
Yeah, but
that was about it, huh?
Yeah, he's had I think it's his hip or his knee. It's something like that. But I mean, he's had issues all season. So I mean, if there's no saying how healthy he's going to be for this game. And I know D Hop's a fighter. He's one of the best receivers in the league, so he's going to try to play through it, but it's not going to work out for him.
All right. Well, let's move into the AFC. King Derrick Henry and the Tennessee Titans, who finished at 12-5, are the number 1 seed. They'll have home field advantage.
King Ryan Tannehill. Okay.
Oh, no.
Derrick
King Henry.
King Henry. You want to hear a crazy stat?
I'd love to hear a crazy stat.
I don't know.
I think I know. Wait. I think I know what you're gonna say.
Probably
continue.
At least before this week, Derrick Henry has not played since Halloween, and before going into Week 18, he was 6th in the league in rushing yards. That's insane.
There was another stat too. I think about Jonathan Taylor and his amount of rushing yards, and I think like at one point it was like in less games than Derrick Henry played. He's got like almost as much or even more than I don't remember exactly off the top of my head. I think it was something like that was circulating.
I don't know. Crazy stuff.
So Danny, the first game that we're going to talk about in the AFC is the number 7 seed Pittsburgh Steelers, who finished at 9-7-1, visiting the number 2 seed Kansas City Chiefs, who share a record with Tennessee at 12-5.
Yeah.
The last 5, Pittsburgh is 3-2 with wins over the Titans, the Browns, and the Ravens, losing to both Minnesota and Kansas City. And Kansas City is 4-1 with, of course, a win over Pittsburgh, also over the Vegas Raiders, the Chargers, the Broncos, and that lone loss being to Cincinnati.
All right.
Last time these two met, Kansas City was Christmas the day after.
We don't gotta talk about it.
We don't need to talk about when Kansas City beat the Steelers 36-10.
But how much?
Meanwhile, we're not going to talk about how Kansas City still won the game, even though they lost Clyde Edwards-Helaire after 2 carries to start the second half.
It's fine. We're gonna talk about it. Let's not discuss Clyde Edwards-Helaire like he's a good running back. First of all,
I mean, come on.
Darrell Williams is better. Darrell Williams is better than Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Clyde Edwards-Helaire should not have been a first-round pick, given he was the 32nd pick. But
Danny, I'm just gonna get the last 2 things that I have to say out because my pick for this is pretty quick. They've met twice in playoff history. In '93, Kansas City won 27-24. 2016, Pittsburgh wins 18-16. My pick for this game, give me the Kansas City Chiefs.
I think that's a bold take, Dan. Let me take the Steelers.
Bold strategy, Con. Let's see if it pays out for them.
I'm gonna take the Steelers. Okay. This is not undisputed. This is not first take. I'm not gonna sit here and be biased towards my team.
You're not gonna sit here and say that you want Iguodala?
Dude, nah. Laser beam pointing at the earth, fate of humanity on the right. I do think that it is a lot more than just clear cut Chiefs. Maybe not a lot more. Maybe not a lot more. I think it's a little bit more. Um, when we played the Chiefs earlier in the season, we did have a very, very hurt team.
Oh, here come the excuses.
No, 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 no.
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking.
I think, I mean, Najee and Deontay both got hurt in week 18. No, I'm not sure. Najee came back into the game. But I'm not sure the severity of Deontay's injury. They were both arm injuries, so those typically linger. TJ's been dealing with groin injuries all year. Hayden's been in and out of the lineup on the COVID list. Those are four of our best players on our team. Will they even be healthy to play the game? That's a different story in itself. Will Minka actually play his position and they don't pull him into a app? Oh my god. I can
Find out on the next episode of
Dragon Ball.
I hate you.
If we have Minka, listen, this is it's gonna sound biased. The Steelers' offensive line against the Browns in Ben's final hurrah at home played phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Given it's the Browns and they are a second-rate D line, but they played good. If we have Hassanauer back to play center, I'm confident that our O-line can be decent. If we can open up the run game with Najee, it'll give Ben a little bit less pressure. And Big Ben, he's a very good playoff quarterback. He always has been. I don't think it's crazy bold to say that it's going to be a game. It's going to be a game. I have the Chiefs.
I don't think it's crazy to say that either.
I have the Chiefs, of course. However, I'm going to say this right here, right now. If the Steelers win, I'm coming on here and I'm talking all my shit. If the Steelers win, they're my Super Bowl winner. If the Steelers win, they're going all the way.
Okay, let's.
What team in the AFC is better than Chiefs? Not the Titans. A healthy Titans is not better than the healthy Chiefs. I'll die on that hill.
Danny, I would pick both the Bills and the Bengals to eliminate the Steelers in the playoffs.
Are they better than the Chiefs?
No, they're not better than the Chiefs.
Don't talk to me. We beat the Bills week 1. We beat the Bills week 1.
You can still lose to a worse team though.
But we won't. We beat the Bills week 1, and Big Ben owns the Bengals. Not this season. I don't want to talk about that. But did we get swept by the Bengals for the first time in Ben's career? Maybe. But I don't want to talk about
it. Sure, it can be a game, but every way to Sunday, Kansas City takes it.
Yeah, fair enough. But I'm letting my nuts hang. Fair enough. I'm letting my nuts hang if the Steelers win. Like I'm showing my ass. Not actually, not like literally. It's a figure of speech, but
you're just gonna run out of your house,
fully nude, fully nude,
buck naked.
I'm posting it on the channel. I'll censor it. All right,
moving on. Next game is the number 6 seed New England Patriots, who finished at 10-7, visiting the number 3 Buffalo Bills, who finished 11-6. Their last 5, New England is 2-3 with wins over the Bills and the Jaguars, while losing to the Bills, the Colts, and the Dolphins. Meanwhile, Buffalo is 4-1, beating the Patriots, the Panthers, the Falcons, and the New York Jets, with that lone loss coming to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Obviously, both being in the AFC East, these two teams played twice, once in week 13 and once in week 16. Week 13, New England took it 14-10, and this was the super windy game. This is the game that Mac Jones only had 3 passing attempts, and he went 2 for 3.
For how many yards?
Can I get like a range?
No.
I don't remember.
19
I was going to say 16.
19 yards. I have a fun stat. You're a little laggy. Hold up. It's like chopping up.
Give it to me.
It's like chopping.
I heard it a little bit.
All right, word. All right, you're back. Guess how many rushing yards per game the Patriots average on the Bills this season?
feel like it would be a decent amount.
Mm.
Oh, well, no, actually, no, because I feel like consistently running it against them in that first game hurts the average rather than helps it.
Not per attempt, per game.
Oh, per game.
Yeah, per game.
Oh, okay. Is it above 50? Just give me that. And then I'll
Yes.
give you a number.
Yes.
72.
188 and a half.
Oh my God.
188 and a half rushing yards a game.
That's more than half of. I mean, that's more than double of what I thought.
Yes, dude, it's insane. The Bills have not been a great run defense this year. They just haven't.
That's true. They've been better pass defense.
A way better pass defense, like 100%. I mean, only giving up 19 yards in one game is really going to help your average, but
Right. Let me ask you a question because I think I remember the number off the top of my head. Mac Jones obviously went 2 for 3. Do you remember what the what the completion per attempt rate was for Allen?
wasn't he like he averaged a decent amount. He averaged like 28 or something like that, or attempted. That's what I mean. He attempted like 28 passes. I think he only completed like 13 for 28.
It's close to the percentage, which is 50, as he went 15 for 30.
Oh, I was close.
So you almost hit that 50%, which I'll give you partial credit for.
I'll take it. Yeah, I was close actually.
You were, but let's look at the actual game that happened, not a wind match.
Yeah.
Week 16, Buffalo wins 33-10. And Buffalo still managed to win this game despite Devin Singletary dealing with an ankle injury that caused him to temporarily leave the game.
Yeah.
And like I was saying, with Buffalo having a really good pass defense, Micah Hyde had every interception in that game with 2.
The Bills also win the turnover differential between these teams. I believe they have one more than the Patriots do against them on the season. So that's also a big thing.
I saw a video though of I'm not trying to. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Mac Jones, but at the same time, I'm not trying to necessarily defend him here. But I saw this video on Twitter. I think some Gump made it. It was like every interception. We love Gumps. It was like every interception through like week 15 that Mac Jones had. And there were a lot of them, there were a couple that were his fault, like throwing into double or triple coverage. But then there were also some where it was, I'm sure Allen might have had some too. I don't really remember, where it was just, off of the receiver's hands that gets batted into the air. Then somebody from, the other team comes down with it. That's such a cheap interception to charge the quarterback for.
I think that should be a turnover on the receiver. If I was in charge of the NFL, those kinds of plays would not be reflected onto the QB stats.
Because how are you going to hit somebody right in the hands, but because they can't catch it, you get penalized? I don't want to say penalized, but it takes a toll on your stat.
It doesn't make any sense. It's horrible. That should be an interception on the receiver. You just add a stat into the league. Oh, crazy. But
can we also really quickly just talk about how I was right at the NFL, right after the NFL draft, saying that Jacksonville, New York, and San Francisco were all going to regret passing on Mac Jones?
Mac Jones wouldn't have been the same quarterback if he wasn't in New England. And I'll stand by that. Like I will stand by that.
I can see that. The biggest thing, of course, and maybe even the only thing, being the similar coaching style that he just dealt with at Alabama to what he goes through now with Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I mean, he went from one of the best coaches of all time to one of the best coaches of all time. So,
and one of the hardest coaches of all time too.
No, 100%.
I guess that's what makes them the best.
I feel like everybody thought Trey Lance was going to be a work in progress in the league. Justin Fields was going to be a work in progress in the league.
Justin Fields is an absolute joke.
I disagree. Maybe Zach Wilson. So, I mean, I thought Mac Jones was going to come in and be solid, stay solid for his career. If he was on any other team, his potential would be no more than like a consistent quarterback, like 16, like the 16th best quarterback in the league, mid, but a starter on every team. He'd be a starter on most teams that he'd play for, but mid.
So
on the Patriots, he has superstar potential.
Let's say he goes first overall to Jacksonville. Jacksonville won what, 3 games?
3 games.
They beat Buffalo. They just beat somebody.
Indy. They just beat
Indy,
Indy.
and they beat Miami in London.
I think they beat the Jets.
Was it the Jets in London?
No, they played the
I'm
Jets.
pretty
in New
sure they
York.
won in London.
Did they win in London? I don't know.
Did Jacksonville even play in London?
They always do, so I think so.
Okay. So either way, 3 wins, right? 3 wins with Trevor Lawrence.
They did. They won in London against the Jets. Yes.
Okay, so it
Because
was
I remember,
the Jets.
I remember the 2 highest selling jerseys in London this season were Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson because they had their London game there.
So if Mac Jones is the starting quarterback in Jacksonville, does he win more than 3 games?
No, it's a bad system. You had a horrible head coach, horrible. Oh my god, a horrible head coach. You had a worse team, a worse defense, definitely. Maybe a better offense, higher powered offense if they use James Robinson at all. Marvin Jones had an amazing year. DJ Chark is probably better than any of the receivers the Patriots have. James O'Shaughnessy had a good year. But you don't have the coaching that you have. You don't have the defense that you have. You're not. I'd be surprised if he won 3 games.
That's a fair point to make. I feel like that's not necessarily on him, though. I feel like it's also just because of how absolutely weak the Jaguars are.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, nobody expected Trevor Lawrence to come in and not look like the best quarterback in the draft. Everybody expected him to come in and tear it up. Maybe not tear it up, but be the best out of the 5. So, but he just had Mac Jones has been the best looking quarterback out of all 5, which if you tell me that before draft time, I'm telling you that you're smoking something nuts.
I don't know if I said another team earlier. I know I said Miami because I thought that they played them in London, but the 3 teams were obviously the Jets. I know for a fact it was the Bills because the Bills, I think, was their first win of the season. And
the Colts. They just beat the Colts.
Right. My friend, one of my sister's friends, Kenzie, was at the game. Shout out Kenzie. She's going to Penn State as a grad student.
Shout out Jaguars for getting the Steelers into the playoffs.
Yeah, straight up.
And shout out the Chargers head coach.
They had like a 10% chance at making it because they needed. Those are the 3 things that they needed. They needed a win over Baltimore, they needed a Jacksonville win, and they needed that game to end in anything but a tie.
Yep.
I can't believe that's what it almost came down to.
Dude,
that's absolutely crazy.
I would have found the highest bridge, like the highest bridge. That would have been so painful. That would have been the way that Big Ben's career ends, and that would have been a very Steelers way for his career to end. Scoreboard watching.
Well, both players are also eyeing one. Both teams are eyeing at least one person to return. From the Patriots, I'd say it's Hightower, and from the Bills, they would definitely love to have Emmanuel Sanders back.
Oh yeah. What do you think? I mean, obviously, I think the Bills are probably the favorite in the game, like the betting favorite. What do you think would be the key for the Patriots to stop Allen and Diggs, like that connection?
Well, if Sanders doesn't come back, which he probably will, but if he doesn't come back, do you just put 2 guys on Diggs for the whole game?
I don't even know. I don't even know. I think you have to send pressure at Allen every play. Josh Allen under pressure is he's Josh Allen. He'll get away from pressure, but on pressured passes, he hasn't been that great this season.
All right.
But I don't. It's a risk. That's what I wrote down. What will Belichick throw out in the game plan? Because I have no clue, dude. One of the games you couldn't pass the ball, and the other game you lost. So
and who knows if it's not super windy that game, you might be losing that game.
You're playing in Buffalo. You can't predict the weather. I don't know, man. I don't know what Belichick's gonna throw out. My opinion though, I think the Patriots pull it out. Belichick's the best coach of all time. I think he'll find a way. I'm not saying Belichick. I'm not taking anything away from the players, man. The players are the guys on the field, but Belichick's just the best mind in football.
Danny, I'm gonna agree with you in saying that I think New England takes it, and kind of going back to what I was saying earlier. And this is what I said. I said this to you on our phone call earlier too. But Bill Belichick is like LeBron James in terms of the playoffs. LeBron's a different breed in the playoffs. So is Belichick, and obviously he's not the one on the field, but he's the one controlling so many aspects of it.
He makes the
And
biggest difference out of every coach in the league. It's through my mic.
Mac, you know, Mac Jones basically went from the New York Yankees to the New York Yankees, where at both Alabama and New England, the New England Patriots, it's basically either a Super Bowl or you failed the season. I feel like there's really no middle ground at both of those two teams.
Mm-hmm.
And he proved himself playoff worthy while he was a member of the Crimson Tide. Now I think it's time for him to do it as a member of the Patriots.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I don't know what Mac Jones is gonna look like in his first career playoff game. He's the only rookie quarterback to play in the playoffs this year, unless Trey Lance somehow gets a start. If Trey Lance starts in the playoffs over Jimmy G, give me the Niners. It's a bold take. I just love Trey Lance, but I do think the Pats will pull it out. I think Judon has had a great year. I just want to see the defense step up. Gabe Davis is going to be a big factor too. Gabe Davis has been great this season. I have a lot of Gabe Davis rookie cards. I want him to keep being good.
And in terms, just really quickly, I for some reason didn't write down who won the game, but Buffalo and New England have met just once. I think the Patriots won, but this game came on the 28th of December in the year 1963, back when they were the Boston Patriots.
That's the only time they played in the playoffs?
One time.
That's insane. I also wrote down that the history record between the teams, the New England leads 77, 46, and 1. So they do have a long history of beating the Bills. Yeah, we got one game left, Dan. One game.
We do.
And I feel like this is gonna be a shootout.
Yes.
We got the Cincinnati Bengals. Will host against the Raiders.
Right. Both teams finished 10-7.
Yep. Bengals' last playoff win, as I said before, was in 1991. Do you want to hear the similarities between the offenses?
Go for it.
The Raiders averaged 368.3 yards per game and 22 points. The Bengals averaged 361.5 yards per game and 27 points.
How many points did you say Vegas averaged? 28?
22.
22. Okay. So there's a little bit of an advantage there for Cincinnati.
Also, another advantage for Cincinnati. Out of every team in the playoffs, the Raiders give up the most points per game. They give up 25.8, which they were one of the worst defenses in the league giving up points. The second highest in the playoffs is the Steelers with 23.4. So I think the Raiders are in for a hell game, trying to stop Joe Shiesty and Jamar.
I was just about to say too. I feel like Joe Burrow, who had an excellent comeback in sophomore year.
Beautiful year. Oh my God.
He's got more offensive possibilities than Derek Carr does.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think this season, which is saying a lot. This is saying a lot. Joe Burrow put himself back in that conversation with Justin Herbert. I love Herbert. I thought Herbert was going to be a top 10 quarterback this year. And arguably, maybe you can possibly throw him in there. I mean, he had a good year. Joe Burrow put himself right in that conversation too. He tore his ACL in his rookie season. He come back. Yeah, I didn't expect anything big from him. I love Joe Burrow, but he came back and went crazy. He had an amazing year. The Bengals were the first team in NFL history to have a 4,000-yard passer, 2,000-yard receivers, and a 1,000-yard rusher, and all of them be 25 or younger. And as a Steelers fan, that is terrifying because we have to play that team twice a year forever.
And here's the thing. I can't. I mean, he might be. I mean, take a look at you got Josh Jacobs for Vegas, and then you got I'm blanking on Joe's last name. Mixon.
Joe Money Mixdog.
Yeah, I honestly think Josh Jacobs might have the upper hand there.
Ooh, that is a steaming hot take. That is insane. How do you figure? I want you to explain yourself.
You know what? Maybe in terms of rushing versus receiving, I feel like Cincinnati takes advantage of Mixon being able to do. My God, excuse me. Cincinnati takes advantage of Mixon being able to do both and do them well. While I feel like Jacobs is really kind of just primarily run rather than receive.
I mean, they have Kenyon Drake to be the receiving back. I should
Right.
have something. Um, I, I think Josh Jacobs has gotten worse every year he's been in the league. His rookie year, he came in. It was three years ago. This is his third season. His rookie year, he came in, lights out. He was a great rookie, amazing rookie running back. Last year, he had a down year, sophomore slump. This year was worse than last year, or around the same level as last year. I mean, I think the Raiders are doing him a disservice because he's their second best offensive player skill wise. I love Hunter Renfrow. Hunter Renfrow has an amazing year this year. Derek Carr is obviously their best offensive player, but I think Jacobs, they're doing him a travesty by not being able to feed him as much as they can because he's a very good running back. I love Josh Jacobs. He doesn't really miss tackles and he doesn't really go through. He doesn't break tackles a lot, but he goes through people.
Right.
He'll carry people, which is nice. It's a great trait to have as a running back.
In terms of offensive production for the Raiders, because you just said that Derek Carr was their best offensive player, their tight end, uh,
Darren Waller.
Darren Waller,
Completely forgot about him.
He had a pretty good year.
Darren Waller had a very good year. I completely forgot that he existed. I don't know how.
So you're talking about Hunter Renfrow. I'm like, cool. Hunter Renfrow is cool, but what about Darren Waller?
Completely forgot about Darren Waller.
But so like I said what I said about the running game, but the fact that you've got Joe Burrow, who's having the sophomore year that he is, as well as Jamar Chase, who is a candidate for offensive rookie of the year.
He's not a candidate. He is offensive rookie of the year. Nah, the way he ended the season, you just can't take it away from him. And I was a big Mac Jones and Creed Humphrey believer. Creed Humphrey had the best rookie season out of any offensive player, but he's an offensive lineman, so he's not going to win it. Jamar Chase is going to win offensive rookie of the year. I don't really think
it's probably going to come down just between him and Jones, though. No.
Oh no, it will.
As much as I love Freiermuth, I don't think he's in that conversation.
No, as much as I love Najee, and Najee had a great rookie year, especially for what he was expected to do with the worst O-line in the league. He's not even gonna be talked about. He's not gonna get a single vote.
If Najee would have come out booming out of the gate a little bit earlier than he actually did, I would say for sure put him in that conversation.
But he's only started. He started with 2 bad games. His first game was a stinker, bro. Like I mean, but the first game for the Steelers was a stinker mostly. And I mean, we beat the Bills, but like we didn't look good.
Right. Just crawl to the finish line.
Basically,
to put it into terms.
I mean, we didn't win that game. The Bills lost that game. The Bills looked very bad.
That's a fair way of putting it. I absolutely agree with that.
And then Najee's second game wasn't great, but Najee had 1,000 yards rushing. He broke the Steelers' rookie rushing record, which is insane. With the worst offensive line in the league, he broke Franco Harris's rookie rushing record. He had a good year. I just don't think he's on the same level here. He wasn't on the same level this year as Jamar Chase, Creed Humphrey, and Mac Jones. Creed Humphrey was a huge difference maker for the Chiefs. And in my opinion, he's the best rookie, but he's an offensive lineman, so sucks. But Jamar Chase is the rookie of the year.
Well, going back really quickly to just focusing on the game. Last 5, Vegas is 4-1 with wins over Cleveland, Denver, Indy, and the Chargers, while losing to Kansas City. Cincinnati is 3-2 with wins over Denver, Baltimore, and Kansas City, while losing to San Fran and to Cleveland. These two teams met in week 11. Cincinnati took it 32-13.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was just a sloppy game from Vegas.
Oh yeah, no, that just wasn't good.
Carr didn't have too bad of a game, though. I mean, 19 for 27, 215 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
Yeah, it's not great though.
Take away the interception, it at least looks better.
If you take away the interception, yeah, but it can't do that.
And we've got a chance at seeing history, Danny. because these teams have met twice in the playoffs, and both times the Raiders won.
Nobody sent a text about the Bengals winning a playoff game. Have you ever seen that meme?
Oh, yeah,
The last
right.
time the Bengals won a playoff game was 1991. The
You gonna
first
say that
text
another
was
time?
the first text was sent in 1992. So, I don't. I think it's gonna change. I think it's changing this week.
Think Bengals take it?
Bengals take it. I just don't
I
think the
literally wrote.
Raiders. I just don't think the Raiders can hold them off.
I literally wrote, and like I had Lee Corso in my head while saying this. I said this season the Raiders are 5-3 on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Make it 6-3.
Oh.
But
Okay. There's a but.
I might be switching over to Cincinnati.
Nah, keep it, bro. We gotta have some differences. Did you take the Niners?
No, I took Dallas.
Okay, so we agreed on every game so far. Come
Who do you have
on,
for Arizona Rams?
Rams.
Yeah, we agree for every game.
We've agreed for every game. Bro, take the Raiders. It's gonna be a good game. I just don't think the Raiders defense is gonna be able to stop them. I think Joe Burrow. I think Jamar Chase is gonna have 2 touchdowns.
Oh no, I don't. No, I want to take Cincy because I don't want to be wrong. But at the same time, I also want to take the Raiders because I feel like they've been really hot lately.
Hey, flip a coin, bro.
I feel like after everything that happened with Henry Ruggs and everything that happened with John Gruden, I feel like they had like a 2, maybe 3 game stretch where they needed to pick themselves up. And then once they did, they were off and they were really successful.
Talk yourself into the Raiders. Or I could
but the defense.
I could flip a coin. Do you want me to flip a coin?
Or you could take the Raiders and I can just go.
Because I want the Bengals. I don't
no,
want the Bengals.
Why are you
gonna
force me to take the Raiders just that we don't pick the same teams?
Bro,
we at least have valid reasons for picking our teams.
We do, but that's 6 straight games of us picking the same people.
It's not like we knew that going into this.
No, we didn't because I had no clue you're taking.
Flip a coin.
Flip the coin? All right. What do you want heads to be? What do you want heads to be?
Heads will be the Raiders because they have a head in their logo.
They do.
And Bengals have tails. Do they?
Yeah. I mean, they're a cat.
So, right? I would think.
All right. It's tails.
So, okay. You can't get mad at me. You can't get mad at me because there was a 50-50 chance it was up to fate.
It's up to fate. Hey, listen, that just means, I mean, let's talk about Jamar Chase had 8 yards when they played.
Let's talk about Jamar Chase not being able to see the spiral and thinking he wouldn't be able to catch the football because he can't see the white line around it. Jesus,
that made me look so stupid, dude. That made me look so dumb. I was like, oh, he can't catch a football. Rah.
And now here he is, potential offensive rookie of the year.
I was so wrong.
Well, we were all wrong about a lot of stuff. You know what I wasn't wrong about, though? Really quickly, I know we should probably end it soon because it's already 8:15 and I want to watch the Natty. I wasn't wrong about the Minnesota Vikings.
What'd you say about the Vikings?
I knew that they weren't going to be a playoff team. Everybody said that they would be. Everybody said that I was sleeping on the Vikings, and I wasn't.
I thought you were.
No, I'm sorry. Kirk Cousins, not a good quarterback. You can't change my mind.
Who did I say wasn't a good quarterback before? Oh, I was talking about somebody. Kirk Cousins is a solid quarterback.
No, he's not. Let's also talk about how I thought that Kenny Golladay would be the Plaxico Burress of 2021, and Golladay didn't record a single touchdown this season.
I had as many touchdowns as your first round pick and your big free agent acquisition combined. Receiving touchdown, because I think Kadarius Toney had a rushing touchdown.
I don't remember, honestly. It probably happened in a game that I didn't watch.
He doesn't have a receiving touchdown. Real quick, before the wild card round starts, who do you have winning the Super Bowl? Just out of the teams that are there, who do you think could take it? We'll end it on this because we've been recording for a little over an hour, I think.
Give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Bucks, you're going Tom Brady?
Yeah.
So I did a bracket. I'm not gonna reveal my whole bracket.
Let me just say these really quick points because
That's Tom Brady. You don't gotta explain yourself.
Tampa can definitely beat the Cowboys, in my opinion. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, should they have to face them, are going to want vengeance against the Rams. And I just think that, I don't know. I just think that Tom Brady would win that showdown against Aaron Rodgers.
Um, I have a couple hot takes, especially for the NFC. I have the Rams winning the Super Bowl.
Shut the.
I have the Rams winning the Super Bowl. Stafford is gonna get his flowers, and it's gonna come this year. He deserves it. I don't have either of the Bucks or the Packers making the NFC Chip game. Neither one.
So what you would have?
Rams,
Let's
Cowboys.
see. Wait, hold on. Let's see. So you literally have
Rams,
1, 2, 3, 4. So you think that the Rams are going to beat the Packers and that the Cowboys are going to beat the Buccaneers?
Yes.
The only way that the Cowboys beat the Buccaneers is because they don't have Mike Evans or Chris Godwin, or they already don't have Chris Godwin. So the only way that the Cowboys beat the Buccaneers is if Mike Evans doesn't play in that game, and you can't change my mind.
I disagree. I think that out of the two players, I mean, they're both top. However you want to rank them, they're both close in receiver rankings. I think Mike Evans.
I'm so sick and tired of everybody saying Mike Evans is better than Chris Godwin. He's not.
He's not. That's what I was about to say.
Shut up. No, he's not. I mean,
they're close. They're close.
No, well, sure, he's close.
He's not
but
there.
Godwin is better, and you can't change my mind.
Mike Evans is an easier receiver to guard than Mike Evans. Or Mike
and
Evans
you can call me biased all you want. I don't care. Chris Godwin's every way to Sunday is better than Mike Evans.
Chris Godwin is a harder receiver to guard than Mike Evans. And I really feel like the Cowboys can easier lock down Mike Evans than they can lock down Chris Godwin.
Danny, Mike Evans is like last season where he was better than Chris Godwin was like our freshman year of high school. 2017. 2017.
I mean this season. Because Godwin didn't finish the season.
But like I said earlier, Godwin still leads despite not having played the last 3 weeks.
Really?
Yeah, I said that earlier. Chris Godwin, who leads the Bucs receiving yards with 1,103, despite not having played since week 15 against the Saints.
Word. What do you think is the biggest possible upset in the first round? Like just potential. Maybe not the team that you picked, but who's an upset that you can see? Seating wise. I mean, I know mine.
Yeah, I wonder what yours could be.
I know.
It's the one that I picked. Give me the Patriots over the Bills.
Yeah, I mean that's a 6-3, right?
Yeah. I mean, really, that's how you can pick though. What are you gonna pick? A 5 team to upset a 4 team? Yeah. And really, is it really an upset if the Raiders and the Bengals have the same record? Is that really an upset? No. There's 3 upset possibilities. I guess technically. I'm sorry. There's 4. No. Yeah, 4. Okay. Wait, no. What am I saying? Yeah, 4.
Steelers beating the Chiefs. Mahomes has a stinker.
Right? Because I mean,
that's the only way the Steelers win.
I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. I love Patrick Mahomes, but I feel like this is probably his most inconsistent year in the last 3-4 years since he played.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, it's hard because he came in so hot. Patrick Mahomes is the most talented quarterback I've ever seen. I mean, I've only been watching football consistently for like 6 years, which is a long time. I mean, I got to watch Matt Ryan's MVP season and everything since then. I watched some in 2015, just not consistently. But Patrick Mahomes is the most talented quarterback I've ever seen. Like, there's stuff that he can do, and the combination of skills that he has on the field, it's just crazy. Who was it? Brett Favre? Or Favre. Somebody told Mahomes that he just has to distance himself from his family because they're gonna give him a bad name.
Oh yeah, I mean that wouldn't surprise me.
No, it was
his brother. I'm sorry, his brother's an absolute joke.
It was a quarterback that said that he had to do it. I think it was Favre. I could be wrong.
Sounds like something that Brett Favre would say.
I don't know. We're getting off.
Followed up with, I wouldn't mind coming back, Green Bay.
All right, let's wrap it up. We've been going for a hot minute.
I know. I can hear my mom watching the game. They're already past the national anthem. So.
Yeah. Let's get you there. All right.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Dan and Danny Talk Sports. We've got another episode coming out soon where we will talk about some of the other stuff that has happened starting today. GMs are gone, head coaches are gone. We just wanted to focus on the wild card weekend in this episode. So
we got to talk regular season awards too, because we're not gonna have time to talk about that.
Right.
We could probably do that Pro Bowl week.
That's what we'll do Pro Bowl week.
I want to talk how like some teams played that aren't in the playoffs. I mean, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Plus,
like the Chargers who missed by the skin of their teeth, and how they probably should have been in there.
Same with the Ravens.
Fair point.
We just got
especially the Ravens, considering how many injuries that they had starting
how many
preseason
games,
week -2,
and how many games they lost because they decided to go for it on 4th down or go for it
rather than
go for a 2-point conversion instead of tying the game.
Right.
But hey, listen, we got content, we got stuff to do into the off season, into the next season, into the draft. Like we got stuff to talk about. We got so many opportunities, so much potential. Just stick around, bro. We got a whole lot.
We should talk hockey too.
I don't know anything about hockey.
I gotta get you into it.
It's gonna be rough. You got me. Hey, listen,
dude.
You got baseball.
New York Rangers are one of the hottest teams in hockey right now.
Devils, baby. You got me to watch a little bit of baseball. Take what you can get, bro. I don't think you're getting hockey.
When did you watch baseball?
I watched a little bit. I mean,
postseason.
Yeah, a little bit of postseason.
Fair point.
A little bit of regular season. I played MLB The Show for a hot minute. I mean,
that's true. That's kind of what got you into it.
Exactly. All right. Well, thank y'all for watching. Really appreciate it. If you're watching,
love y'all.
Of course, if you're watching on YouTube, comment, like, subscribe. If you're watching on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us a rate. Follow us on Twitter. Just interact with us. All of our links are in the description of the podcast on everything that you're listening on, watching on, whatever you want to do. We really appreciate you. And have a great day, guys.
Peace.